We on? Amazing. Welcome to the Father State YouTube Live. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Apologize for the late start, but we are black, and black people are late. We start on CP time. I'm glad you're here. You love me?
I don't really know you.
Do you have to know me to love me? Yeah, well, I love you.
Thank you.
Are you surprised?
Not really.
Were you surprised that I threw you off the radio show?
Not really.
And one of the reasons I'm concerned about you being a progressive is that...
Me specifically or all progressives?
All men.
Men, only men.
Only men.
Progressive women don't concern you.
It's normal, abnormal for women to be progressive.
Interesting.
Or liberal, but
Wow.
It's abnormal for a man to be a liberal or progressive. It's a sign of being a beta male.
I didn't know that.
Because real men are conservative.
If I became conservative, would I no longer be beta?
You become alpha.
Wow. Something to think about.
Do you find that it's difficult for young men of your age group, to find good women to date?
Not at all.
Why don't you date men?
I'm not attracted to men.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But would you consider it might be a man? Would you think of it as a man?
It? Would I think of it as a man?
Right.
It's a person, right? I don't say
right,
it.
It's a female. The children of the lie, the liberal media, the Democratic Party, the right-o Republicans, the never-Trumpers.
Okay. So like everybody but Trumpers.
The hashtag movement. Plus you
No, I
seem
don't
mentally off. You know, like the lights was on, but nobody was home.
You're making assessments of who's mentally off on, on TV.
But that's how evil the children of the left are. They'll destroy you to get what they want, and that's power and wealth.
I'm curious, if they're so powerful, the children of the lie.
But they're not powerful.
Oh, I thought you just said they
that's
were.
what they want.
I thought you said they will destroy you.
They will. They'll destroy you. They'll try to destroy you.
Oh, okay.
To get power and wealth.
Gotcha.
Do you agree with that?
No. No.
We'll bring that up.
The reason was you've called me a girly man so many times. Remember
that's
we talked about
you're
that?
Weak.
Oh, okay.
That's because it's not because I think you.
That I'm gay.
Right.
Got it. Glad we clarified. You know, a lot of people are sexually assaulted and raped, and they don't come forward. And the reason they don't
believe
come.
That.
You don't believe that?
That's a made-up lie too.
Oh, who made that up?
The children of the left.
Oh, I should have.
The children of the lie.
I should have known.
They're doing it because they hate men.
Oh.
And they especially hate straight, white, conservative, Christian men of power. If it wasn't for them, America would be a socialist society already.
It would be what?
A socialist society.
If you're thinking about joining the David Pakman show, he's got a lot of content, don't you know? Search a subject, but don't forget to add his name at the end of the subject. He'll hit you with some facts, empirical at that. And once or twice a week, he'll mention about his garden. It's a pretty good garden, yeah, but it's not for everyone. You should also know that there is a bonus show. Producer Pat will give his take, which is a pretty decent perspective. Pat knows what he's talking about. If you're thinking about joining the David Pakman show, he's got lots of content, don't you know? Search a subject, but don't forget to add his name at the end of the subject. If you're thinking about joining the David Pakman show, he's got lots of content, don't you know? Search a subject, but don't forget to add his name at the end of the search criteria.
All right, welcome everybody. We are live, and Rudy Giuliani has been suspended as a lawyer in the state of New York. It's all incredible, and it is the first stream with the new studio computer. You know, as some of you remember, we have had many a stream either that never happened or that got cut short because of Windows updates on a computer without a solid state drive. And as part of my commitment for that not to happen, we have a new studio computer, and not everything yet is correct. So we're going to work through some of the things. Like, for example, the super chats are not aligned. Oh, and my mouse is visible. Mouse is not supposed to be visible. Oh, there's a super chat. Okay, good. Now it's an opportunity to actually line these up correctly. So let me see if I can do it. So we're going to move this, and then we'll move this over here. And then we can even expand. So I think we got that. And then let's see if we go over to our other shot here. Pretty close, actually. Let's see if we could just do a really small adjustment here and maybe move over. You kind of have to do this stuff as the super chats come in. So I think we got that. Okay, good. Excellent. So I am building up our repertoire of different. So let me tell people what we have now. I've been talking about how I've been holding off on programming my Stream Deck fully until I'm on the new computer, because otherwise it would all be, I would have to redo everything. So what I've got programmed now are, we've got our 3 basic shots here. I've done a small adjustment to the audio offset. So I believe I had to do 100 milliseconds, and now my voice should be synced to the video. That's looking pretty close, maybe off by 15 or 20. And then what else do we have? I did set up websites I frequently use. I can now pull up with the touch of a button. So if I say, oh, sir, what's going on Twitter? I can just pull up my Twitter with the touch of a button. We've got the live Pakman live counter. I can pull that up easily. If I had like a TikToks issue, oh, hold on. Websites, I can pull up TikToks right away. We've got the show's Instagram. We've got my Instagram. All these things I think are really good to have. If ever someone had a question about membership, which really never happens, it's so straightforward, I can pull up the membership page. So we've got all of that stuff. Let me now close these things out. Close. Actually, you know what? We probably want to keep this up live just because that may be something that we need a little bit later. So all of that stuff is going. And then what else did I set up? And then otherwise, I just have my various intros, which you heard at the beginning. And then also, I have so many audio files now. So now is the time to get your clean audio drops into me. Someone sent me a bunch of really good ones. For music, we just have YMCA. Okay, so we just have that. Then I have a couple Biden ones. I've got this.
Come on, man.
And then I've also got...
Will you shut up, man?
Okay, so that's it for Biden stuff right now. Under miscellaneous, I have Bernie.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah, good. Okay.
You never know when you're going to need that. And then these are very, very topical.
Oh, no, Sam Seder. Sam who? Sam who?
So that we have on the Biden and miscellaneous. And then the Trump stuff is just completely off the rails. People sent me so much amazing stuff. So first of all, I have a whole dumps folder.
Big, massive dumps. Dumps. They call them dumps.
So we've got the dumps folder. Sir is almost completely full.
Congratulations, sir. You just won the election.
Mr. President, sir. Mr. President, sir. How are you?
You're on the cover of Time magazine again.
Sir, I think you're doing very well.
Sir, I don't know.
Sir, you can't ask that question.
Sir.
Sir, I don't even know what I'm doing, sir.
Sir, your wife is up in the air.
Sir, he's better than I am.
Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of Sir stuff. China is a folder.
China all the time.
China.
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 Okay, so we've got that. And then just miscellaneous things that might be relevant at any time.
Stand back and stand by.
We've got the extortion.
I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
Bathroom stuff.
Elements of bathrooms.
Elements of them.
And then we fell in love. Okay?
But that was a good one.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times.
And God bless the United States.
That one, the quality's a little low. If someone could redo that one for me with a higher quality source, that would be good. And then just a couple of others.
Looking at that very strongly.
The noise causes cancer.
I don't care what they name it. Name it peaches.
And And then lastly,
We're looking very strongly at sinks and showers.
I just love that. Bathrooms and flushing and showers.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times. We're looking very strongly at sinks and showers.
Okay, so that's basically everything I have currently on my Stream Deck. So get your stuff in, okay? Get your stuff in because we can add these. Just have to keep everything organized. Okay, very good. And if anything else seems out, not properly configured for today's stream, let me know. But the big news is new studio computer and many, many elements that are important. I do want to say thanks before we get into the Rudy stuff to Josh Rambo, as well as Indiana Bob, Zabuza, Weslow, and is that everybody? Oh, hold on. I've got to turn off followers. Yeah, hold on. Let me go back to the beginning. It's just Indiana Bob, Weslow, and Mini Chopper for me have signed up via Twitch, and I really appreciate that. And also want to say thank you to Marcy Irby Hollins, who just signed up on my website, and Marcus Williams just signed up on my website. The coupon code Cold Feet Crowder is done after this week. We're, of course, celebrating the incredible thing that happened this week.
Oh, no, Sam Seder.
And big confrontation there.
Sam who?
Yeah, I don't know who that was, but some Sam out of nowhere. And another important thing is that we just put together this video, and this I think is absolutely fascinating. Producer Pat legitimately actually came to me earlier this week, and he wanted to talk to me, and he said,
I don't even know what I'm doing, sir.
And I said, Pat, you do know what you're doing. Let's put together this video of a variety of different debates, and let's capitalize on what's going on with Sam and Steven Crowder. So we're just going to look at a little bit of this, but these are just some miscellaneous examples of debates. And this is a great shareable video. Okay, let's check this out.
Identitarianism is one of the biggest things that I have a problem with due to my family history being, I know it's kind of a meme, but mixed. And this comes from when we look at affirmative
action. But Tim,
action.
isn't that identity politics? You're saying your view on this is informed. You're against identity politics as informed by your identity.
Yeah, it is what it is. The ACLU, when they supported affirmative action at Harvard, which lumps all Asians, Indian, Chinese, Laotians into one category, and I find that offensive as an Asian person. And so when I come out and say—
But Tim, that's an identity to say. You should be able to argue whether it's offensive or not offensive, right or not right, without saying because you are part Asian. You find like that's identity politics, which you claim to be against.
I agree. And I think the clarification then, I think what we're discovering here is that it's not so much the core idea of identity politics, it's the application of in ways that either is reductive or authoritarian.
Everything you're building here right now, right? Do you want the government to tell you how to do all these things and all the regulations that you got to have your electric thing this far from this and like all
the regulations like that for construction are important though. You do have to make sure that people don't do stupid shit. But make sure you don't have a power line that's near a water line. There's a lot of.
But I would put most of that on the builders though. They want to build things that are good. Now I get it.
That's not true. Listen, people people are going to build corners all the time. Like you have to have regulations when it comes to construction methods, or people are going to get fucked.
They cut corners when there are regulations.
So anyway, we did this. Pat did a great job with this. Turned this around in like a day and a half. We've got chapters. It's very, very shareable. This is a great Sam Seder moment that made it in.
I just want to live on my land and be completely self-sufficient and not pay your taxes. After 3 years, the town would come, kick you off of your property, and seize your land.
How would you know it's your land? How would you prove that it's your land?
Well, in theory, you would have a property deed, because that's what happens when you buy property.
Who would issue the property deed?
You get a deed. Well, right now there are governments that issue those things. And what I'm saying is we're talking about the current paradigm of how could you own land? And there are things right now that exist. When you go buy land, you get a deed for the land.
Right.
If you're talking about what would happen in a free society, then there would be competing agencies probably that would issue such deeds.
Which one would
You're asking me to centrally plan liberty, and that's not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in,
Wait
Sam,
a sec, I want to hear about that other
having the
paradigm.
right. Hold on, Sam. Hold on.
Okay, so that was a really good one. Let's just pick like just one other random thing here. There's a bunch of really good examples. We have Marianne, me and Jesse, Andrew, Neil, and Shapiro, Rogan and Candace, This is a good one here.
What I'm trying to talk about is the totality of evidence that he's mishandled this pandemic. And it's interesting to me that you were extremely unwilling to criticize him for that.
Because what's the alternative?
The alternative...
What would have happened in any other circumstance where we have no control group? What am I supposed to say?
So,
well, if
wait,
Trump
how many would have
saved a life.
how many would have had to have died before you would criticize him?
I don't know.
Give me a number. Wait, so you could have let 1 million?
So what you're telling me is that we have no idea what would have happened if Trump did anything else.
We don't
and now
ever.
We're supposed
We
to
don't.
Make a determination.
That's you're making a tautological statement. That's how the universe works. We don't ever know what would happen if other things.
What am I supposed to say when Fauci early on praised him, when governors early on praised him? Now they're critical of him in an election year.
Wait. First of all, the praise of governors is irrelevant. Are governors health experts? Second of all, Fauci praised him a couple of times. He's also under a lot of political pressure to do what Trump says, or otherwise there's a very decent chance of him getting canned. Fauci has made plenty of statements which Trump has later contradicted. Trump has been back and forth on the mask issue, going so far as to make fun of people for wearing masks.
I do not.
You claim to have like this a disaffected sort of like anti-establishment view of all of this, but your channel is hyper partisan against the left, and then when anyone criticizes Trump, you'll either defend him harshly or you'll back up and say, well, they're all bad. You are taking the choice to defend Trump. You are the partisan here. You're not a distanced anti-authoritarian. You are standing with him, and you are saying, yes, I am anti-authoritarian, I am anti-establishment, but also we don't know if him lying to the American people was bad. It could have caused a panic.
Again, as a
So anyway, this is a clip called "Here's Why the Right is Afraid to Debate the Left." I posted the link to the Twitch chat as well as to the YouTube chat. But this would be a great one to share. And a lot of our various friends appear in this one. And of course, the culmination of it at the end is what happened this week with Sam Seder and Steven Crowder. And that's a really good one.
Oh, no, Sam Seder. Sam who? Sam who?
Right. So that's the new video. Wanted to go over that with you guys just briefly. But let's now get into what's going on with Rudy Giuliani. No, I don't want whatever this is. I'm opting out. Rudy Giuliani suspended from practicing law in New York State. Rudy Giuliani, the former personal lawyer for President Trump, who once held one of the legal profession's most prestigious jobs. What job is that? Was suspended Thursday from practicing law in New York State by an appellate court that found he made, quote, demonstrably false and misleading statements about the 2020 election. He also gave people COVID at the hearings and farted uncontrollably, but I guess that's not legally relevant. In a ruling released following disciplinary proceedings, the court concluded that there is uncontroverted evidence that Rudy Giuliani, the former Manhattan U.S. attorney, communicated demonstrably false and misleading statements to courts, lawmakers, and the public at large in his capacity as lawyer for former President Donald J. Trump and the Trump campaign in connection with Trump's failed effort at re-election in 2020. Giuliani's conduct immediately threatens the public interest and warrants interim suspension from the practice of law. The suspension of his law license marks a precipitous fall for the former New York City mayor, once considered an accomplished and formidable force in legal circles. In recent years, however, Giuliani's reputation has suffered, that's an understatement, as he has come under criminal investigation by the office he used to lead, the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office, for possible illegal lobbying. No illegal discounts, just illegal lobbying. He has denied wrongdoing. Giuliani's lawyers, because remember, MAGA means making attorneys get attorneys. Giuliani's lawyers, John Leventhal and Barry Kamens, said in a statement Thursday that they are disappointed with the appellate division decision suspending Giuliani prior to being afforded a hearing on the issues that are alleged. This is unprecedented, they say, as we believe our client does not pose a present danger to the public interest. Oh, yes, he does. Have you seen him passing gas in public? And he could have possibly given Jenna Ellis COVID by gas. That's a present danger if I've ever seen one. We believe that once the issues are fully explored at a hearing, Giuliani will be reinstated as a valued member of the legal profession that he has served so well in his many capacities for so many years. CNN senior legal analyst Ellie Honig said suspensions like this are unusual. You're a lawyer. Your job is to zealously represent your client. A lot of times your client maybe has done wrong, but what you cannot do as a lawyer is just lie. This doesn't happen every day by any stretch. This is a very rare thing and a very extreme thing for the court to do. Rudy's set to appear in court in D.C. Thursday for proceedings in a defamation lawsuit. So that's what's going on with Rudy Giuliani. It's bad enough when your lawyer has to get a lawyer. It's even worse when your lawyer is suspended from being a lawyer. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. And we have some video. Let me see where I can get these here. Here's some follow-ups. This is Andrew Giuliani, who's running for governor of New York, by the way, commenting on this, and a real clinic in how not to frame a shot. Just at the bottom of the frame, and he goes lower and lower in the frame. I don't know what's funnier, what comes out of Andrew Giuliani's mouth, or the fact that he can't even film himself competently.
Hi, my fellow Americans. Today it's my fellow Americans, not just my fellow New Yorkers. As you may have heard recently, a few minutes ago, my father's law license was suspended. By the New York State First Appellate Division of the Supreme Court. Now, the 5 judges that ruled on it, Judge Rolando Acosta, Judge Diane Renwick, Judge Sally Daniels, Judge Judith Gishi, and Judge Barbara Kaepernick. All 5 of them are Democrats, 3 of which were appointed by Andrew Cuomo. 5-0, ultimately. Democrats with 0 Republicans on there. Again, this is just unbelievable to see just how politicized all of this has become. I am infuriated by all of this, and any American that believes in an independent justice system, this is going after one of President Trump's closest allies. That's exactly what this is.
Did he say President Strump?
And any American that doesn't believe that, they are just biased. This is unacceptable, and I stand by my father. He did everything ultimately by the book, and the fact...
How would he know that, anyway?
...that there would be this politicization in our Justice Department is disgusting. It is a cancer that needs to be cut out, and it needs to be cut out right now. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned. I'll have more statements later in the day.
Yes, and very powerful statements certainly coming from him. Let's see, in fact, if he made any other statements. No, that was 4 hours ago. We've not heard from him. Oh, he did an interview on this Just the Truth show. Let's listen to just a little bit of that.
Table. It's very similar to the policies that we're bringing to the table in our gubernatorial race, which is a year out, but ultimately his is the next 4.5 months. He keeps talking.
Is he in a server room? What is he doing? He seems to be, I've never seen, is he just on break from his job as an IT guy? This is weird.
About how he's going to clean up the streets. The great thing about Curtis is he started a program called the Guardian Angels in the late 70s.
Excuse me, Jenna, I've got to upgrade to the latest version of Linux here before I get a blue screen of death.
When the government was doing nothing about crime, and crime was just spiking and spiking and spiking. And he went in there with his organization, which is now, I think, in 15 different countries in 4 different continents around the world. And he helped to clean up subway crime by just having unarmed volunteers on.
What is he even talking about? Okay, so that's that. President Trump put out a statement about this, not going in the direction of Rudy. I don't remember. I think he was getting us water, but I don't really know who that is. Trump instead saying, can you believe that New York wants to strip Rudy, a great American patriot, of his law license because he's been fighting what has already been proven to be a fraudulent election? The greatest... Oh, hold on. And I should even have... do I have my fraud? Oh, no, I don't have... That's what I'm missing. I'm missing all of my fraud drops. That's too bad. The greatest mayor in the history of New York City, the Elliot Ness of his generation, one of the greatest crime fighters our capital C country has ever known. And this is what the capital R, capital L radical left does to him. All of New York is out of control. Crime is at an all-time high. It's nothing but a witch hunt, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Take back America, he says.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times. We're looking very strongly at sinks and showers.
Exactly. So that's that. There is the latest from Donald Trump about this. And then here is Stephen Bannon, former Trump strategist and Breitbart propagandist. He's saying they must be really afraid not only of Rudy Giuliani, but also Mike Lindell. That's an interesting interpretation of the events.
Okay, New York Supreme Court looks like they suspended Rudy Giuliani's law license to practice in New York. We're going to get the great mayor on the evening, on our afternoon show at 5 o'clock. This is obviously outrageous. This is
Now it's 5 o'clock in the East now. If anybody knows where I could maybe find what he's referring to, if Rudy is on with Steve Bannon live right now, I would love to check that out. So please if that's going on, let me know where I could find it.
how intimidated they are. Rudy Giuliani, Mike Lindell, all of it. They're coming every.
They're intimidated by Rudy and a guy who sells pillows, and yeah, that's strange.
Direction, right? But fear not. Okay. By the way, you had a good thing. Why do they fear Mike Lindell?
Yeah, I don't think they do. And I don't think suspending Rudy's law license has anything to do with fearing Mike Lindell. So that's the latest from Steve Bannon. And I guess nobody knows if that is live. Let's see. Steve Bannon War Room Live. Let me see if I can find that. Bannon's War Room, iHeartRadio. There's this is not a joke. Earlier today, Bannon published something called The Pillow Hour. Episode 1046. The Pillow Hour Part 2 with Mike Lindell and Scott Mineo. Watch on the web, warroom.org. Let's see if we can find something live here. No, that's earlier. God, this is I have an ad blocker on. That's what's crazy. Oh, hold on. America's Voice Live. Let's see what this is about. Could we get the audio on somehow? When I go over to the audio thing, it disappears. Are you guys seeing that? Oh, here it is.
Manufacturing supply chains, it's got to come back. If the corporations don't like it, tough. You're going to bring it back, okay? And you've got to have an infrastructure bill that faces that. Let me talk about they say the $47 billion is going to net $100 billion. The $100 billion is going to come out of you, the audience. Got that? It's coming out of you. No. The $24 billion.
Not coming out of Michael Bloomberg. Not coming out of Bill Gates. Not coming out of Mark Zuckerberg, right? It's coming out of the deplorables, right?
Are you Steve Bannon? Are you just like jumping on my best lines? 24 billionaires with only paid $15 billion of taxes, correct, Dr. Peter Navarro? Oh, the last 5 years they control half
Bannon. I learned everything about that from you.
It's like they all worked for a billionaire who didn't pay nearly enough taxes, but now their topic is billion. Are they seriously saying they're now on billionaires aren't paying enough taxes? What? How could they possibly go to that after they both worked for Trump? And by the way, this is crazy. In the bottom right, they have a picture-in-picture of the Ardit happening in Arizona right now, where they're looking for bamboo fibers and that spicy chili sauce leftovers and just any sign that the ballots may have been tampered with. Breadings that may have been inappropriate, like where, for example, potato flour was used instead of normal flour. All these things they're looking at really, really closely in Arizona. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. If Rudy Giuliani does appear on this program, let me know, because I would definitely want to go to that. All right, now let me get to people's super chats, because super chats are completely off the rails. I do want to say thank you to Victoria Trosh, who just signed up at joinpakman.com, as well as Mo Money Mo Problems, who just signed up for a website membership using the exclusive coupon code Cold Feet Crowder. Cold Feet Crowder today, as many of you saw, we celebrated an incredibly unique event earlier this week where there was a confrontation of Steven Crowder.
Oh no, Sam Seder.
And it was very, very entertaining. So we have a Cold Feet Crowder coupon code in honor of that. Supposedly some of the ballots were well done, and that's suspicious because Trump's the only guy who asks for stuff well done. And so that is definitely a red flag. You wouldn't go past medium plus if there was any sense to what was taking place there. I do want to say thank you to Dope Tipped as well as Sin Pre for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, as well as Raquelita Fuentes, new members 8, 9, and 10 today. Let me now run through some of these super chats. I apologize. I have fallen behind on these. Perfect intro. Move this. Hi, Devad. Do you know what Space Force's purpose is? I guess to protect us from aliens. Please add Get Me a Coke, please, to the soundboard. If we have audio of that, I would do it. Please put the sound bites on the members page. I don't know about that. Sir, I've been seeing lots of YouTubers getting a second or more channel. Why? Is it to have multiple channels of income, algorithm, new YouTube policy? I have no idea why. We were basically maxed out on the main channel. So we started the second channel, which you can find at youtube.com/Pakman Live. And we did hit that 6,000 subscriber milestone yesterday, which is great. Now we're going to 10,000. We're going to go to 6, and we're going to go to 7, and then we're going to go to 10 and keep it going and growing. So we just have too much content on the main channel. So we take clips from these streams and we put them on the second channel. That's basically the gist of it. All right. Okay. Do you ever vote for Republican presidential candidates? I never have. Jimmy says debate hard B. Jeez, that sounds like porn. I don't know what that means. Please shout out my friend Mo, which in this case is an abbreviation for Monica. Yes, shout out to Mo. Appreciate that. Brian says, thanks for giving me the best debating tool to use against the right, truth. Nicely done. Jimmy says, I'm live critiquing you now. Debate hard, you know. Yes, Jimmy. Yes, lucid as ever. Many years ago, he seemed to be smart and competent. Was he never competent, or did he take a wrong turn? I don't know. Like, was Rudy actually ever competent, or was he just better at hiding his incompetence? I can't wait to see what Devin at Legal Eagle has to say about this. Actually, Devin from Legal Eagle will be making an appearance on the David Pakman show. Let me see if I can tell you when that is. We are actually mutual fans. Devin of Legal Eagle and David Pakman of the David Pakman show. I'm just pulling up our schedule here. Devin will be on with us. Wait a second. What's going on? I thought we had him scheduled. Now I'm not even seeing it on the calendar. Hold on a second, guys. Let's email producer Pat. Hey, what happened with getting Legal Eagle scheduled? I thought we had it booked. Okay. All right, good. I guess we're standing by for Rudy Giuliani here. Let's see what else we've got. Network for Responsible Public Policy, HR 1 for the People Act, this platform. Sir, what's your take on ranked choice voting? We have ranked choice in my city. It's given us the second choice mayoral candidate before it got ugly. Yeah, I am for various systems that are single transferable. There's a bunch of different configurations. I have a bunch of clips about this. There are ways it can be set up so that the eventual winner was not really the primary choice for a plurality of individuals. And that's an issue we've addressed before. David, do they call Democrats leftist because they're too ignorant to differentiate between liberal centrist, or is it intentional for dramatic effect? Probably both, to some degree. Probably both. It should be called Pillow Talk with Mike. Mason says, David, do you know anything about ivermectin being used for COVID treatment? I am not, because I'm not a medical professional, I'm unable to say too much about that. I just don't know enough about it. Funny how happy Jim Jordan looks on far right news. And Dominic says, crossover of the century, but I thought Legal Eagle can't come on. He's seeing too many people in court. That I don't even know what it means. I don't know what you mean by that. But I thought we were getting Devin on. I'll research that and then we'll get back to you. I also want to say thank you to VVEXI85 for the Twitch Prime subscription. Remember, I don't care who you give your Twitch Prime subscription to, but don't leave it in Jeff Bezos's pocket. That's not good. Make sure you're giving it to someone. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get a free Twitch Prime every month. And you've got to remember to use it. It doesn't renew automatically. You could certainly use it with me, but make sure you're using it. We don't want to leave that money in Jeff Bezos's pocket. Hayden says, I'm literally right next door to the president right now, looking forward to his speech. Yeah, Biden's schedule. We also have a Biden event coming up. What time is that? 5. Oh, very soon. Let me get that going. Hold on. White House YouTube channel. I almost forgot about that. Here it is. So as we stand by for Rudy Giuliani, we've also got this event. I'll just leave the audio up so that when it starts, we'll see it. And they're continuing the pillow promos. Let's see what could he possibly be saying about it. Let's see.
Check it out. MyPillow.com, promo code War Room. Take action, action, action. This is
satire.
Your agency. Plus their sales and discounts on every item. But this is the big one. $109.99.
Congratulations,
to
sir. You just
$39.99
won the election.
On the six-pack of towels. And these towels are incredible, I can tell you. Okay. Rudy Giuliani.
Here we go.
Greatest mayor New York ever had.
Here we go.
Put the mob away, put the Wall Street mob away, cleaned up New York, made it the greatest. It was the greatest thing in the world, but it was in steep decline, turned it around, no crime, prosperous, people happy, living together. That Rudy Giuliani, a fierce defender of the president, a man that's been
Is he on now?
Our 2020 Man of the Year in the War Room, and an incredible individual. I'm bringing his lawyer, Judge Leventhal. Judge Leventhal, CNN and MSNBC are dancing on Rudy's grave today. Can you tell us exactly what happened? He got temporarily disbanded from...
Disbanded?
He can't practice law in New York State. What exactly happened, and how serious is this?
The Mayor Giuliani was interimly suspended pending a full disciplinary hearing.
Right.
And that's what
Judge
by order of the Appellate Division First Department, which is the Intermediate Appellate Court in Manhattan and Bronx.
Crystal clear.
Okay, in layman's terms, what does that mean? Why do you, hang on. Normally, guys that do this, are these guys like the lawyers who are drug addicts, stealing out of escrow accounts?
Exactly.
Essentially reprobates. Rudy Giuliani is one of the greatest living Americans that's done more for his country than virtually anybody. Is he now considered, or are they treating him like they treat lawyers who are basically known?
If you're just joining us, in the bottom right of your screen, you see what's happening in the Arizona election audit. Very important. Meanwhile, we're hearing from Rudy's lawyer about why he can't practice law in New York anymore.
Well, an interim suspension is usually utilized for someone who has uncontroverted evidence or an admission that they stole clients' money or from their escrow account, or that someone had a substance abuse problem, which is uncontroverted, and there's evidence that they repeatedly neglected various clients' representation, and that they would be a present public danger through the practice of law. So, unfortunately, the Appellate Division, because of statements that the mayor has made, has suspended him similarly as they would these other individuals.
Beautiful.
And he hasn't had a hearing yet, and we are hopeful, and we believe that when he has this hearing, he will be reinstated as a valued member of the legal profession that he has served so well in many capacities for so many years.
Oof.
Well, he is a valued member of the legal profession. He's a valued member of this country. He's one of the great leaders in the world. Rudy Giuliani, by the way, in the subtext there, it was statements he made in Michigan in the presentation. It was statements he made on the show, right, where he was talking about facts off of Peter Navarro's analysis and others, and 3,000 affidavits that he had. And now you see...
I didn't realize Bannon was fully in on the voter fraud thing.
This appellate court suspended his ability to make a living and tried to humiliate and shame one of the greatest living Americans that sacrificed more for his country virtually than anybody, to defend the city he loves, to defend the little guy in the city he loves, to defend the little guy that gets crushed by these Wall Street mafia and the real mafia. That's what we're doing, because he made statements in defense of an illegitimate election that we know now is illegitimate because the receipts are coming out in Arizona and other places. Is that why they suspended his license, sir?
They are of the view that the statements that he made were proven to be untrue.
Sure.
And
I don't know.
and he knowingly made those statements. And
Sir, you're on the cover of Time
our
magazine
position
again.
is, number one, the mayor should be given a hearing, and assuming arguendo, any statement may not be true. He did not knowingly know that that statement was untrue. It's based on affidavits. It's based on statements. It's based on experts' opinions that were given to him. He didn't just invent that from whole cloth.
Judge Leventhal, you're a good man. What's the next step in this? We got to.
Do we go to Biden?
Hello, everybody.
Who's this guy? Is this Newsom? Who's this?
Oh, I know everybody's been waiting such a long time. And guess what's still to come? We want to welcome President Joe Biden to the great state of North Carolina.
We're going to go with this, then we'll go back.
We want to thank him for providing strong, coordinated, sensible, strategic national leadership out of this pandemic. We want to thank him for helping us with testing, getting us vaccine in a reliable and predictable way, and partnering with governors, both Democratic and Republican, across the country, setting up sites and getting shots in arms. Thank God for these vaccines.
Wow. What about scientists?
Thank scientific research. Thanks perseverance for these stunningly effective, life-saving vaccines that are allowing us to gather right here today.
Right.
And thank you to President Biden for setting the example of strong, compassionate leadership for this country and putting people first. Now, in North Carolina, all of us together are working to emerge from this pandemic stronger than before. And with President Biden's leadership, we have American Rescue Plan funds to help us make transformational changes, high-speed internet access, wastewater and water infrastructure, housing, education, childcare. We can do this thing, and this pandemic has been shining a light on challenges that we have already faced. Now we can do something about it. And in North Carolina,
we're waiting for Biden, but we're keeping an eye on if and when Rudy will be joining Steve Bannon. We'll monitor both.
Uncharted waters during this pandemic. We used science and data to make the hard decisions. And with our largest states, North Carolina is among the lowest in deaths and job loss per capita. That's a good thing. We've done things right. And with our vaccines, we've administered almost 9 million doses. We've gotten about 55% of our adult population with at least one shot and about 82% of 65 and over with at least one shot. But we are still not where we need to be. And that's why we are here today. That's where you guys come in. That's where you guys come in. You're going to go out into these communities talking with people. You will have the power to save lives. You will have the power to persuade the hesitant. You can tell them about your own story with vaccines. You can listen to them. You can let them know that you care. You can let them know that they just aren't protecting themselves when they get a vaccine, but protecting their family, their friends, and other people. And you can tell them you too can win $1 million if you just get your vaccine.
It's like gambling.
And for those 12 through 17, you can win a full college scholarship. We had a drawing yesterday. We're going to be making an announcement soon. There are 3 more to go, so let them know. we will get this done. We will get it done. One call, one visit, one house, one conversation, one person, one shot at a time. Together, we will get enough people vaccinated to put this pandemic behind us for good.
A strong hype train happening right now.
Outstanding.
What do they sing?
All right, we've got two people coming up here that you're going to love. In addition to you and me, there are two people coming up who are going to tell us what else we're going to do. We have a North Carolinian who has come back. She's just finished her first year at Princeton University, and she is back helping our communities. And she's working to get shots in arms.
Big time.
And when I see students like her stepping up, it makes me know that North Carolina is going to get through this even stronger than before. And I'm excited about that. So let me introduce to you our very own Ivy Jones, who is going to introduce to you the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Wow. If you're just joining us, so we are standing by for Rudy Giuliani on Steve Bannon's program. We're about to hear from Joe Biden. Let me make sure everybody who's been supporting the stream does get a thank you. Bobo Fetra, as well as Josh Rambo, Flat Chiliance, as well as Green Supreme Stream have signed up via Twitch. Sumizu and Zero Kiwi, Frito Baggins and Joseph's Captures, Spamosino, Dom's Dad, Ammoin, all have signed up. That's 9, putting us at 20. We're about to hear from Joe Biden. Remember, you can also use that insane coupon code Cold Feet Crowder on my website, which is just out of this world crazy. Biden perfectly framed through the teleprompter, just couldn't be a more perfect shot today.
That Princeton University, like many campuses across our country, would be shifting to a virtual format. While I was disappointed at this less than typical start to my college career, it did not outdo the devastation brought about by the pandemic. As someone with a father in the Army and a mother with a serious respiratory condition, I knew that our physical distance was needed because the health of our family was at stake. I made sacrifices to increase the odds that my loved ones would live to see another day, even when that meant intense feelings of isolation. I watched helpless as COVID-19 cases and fatalities began to climb in North Carolina, the only home I've known for 18 years. This state has taken the stress of over 1 million COVID-19 cases, and more than 13,000 North Carolinians have lost their lives to this terrible illness. Now that we have safe and reliable vaccines available to us, it is imperative that we do our part to stop the spread of COVID-19. As we usher in this new phase of the pandemic, we should rejoice in the ability to see our friends and family again, but not forget that the pandemic is not over. It won't be until we all do our part and get vaccinated. As I stand here before you, there are over 400 people hospitalized in North Carolina fighting COVID-19. That number may seem insignificant, but each one of those 400 people are family, friends, partners, and heroes to their communities. Each of those people belong to the greater fabric of this state, and their struggle should not be understated. If the pandemic has reinforced anything, it is that ability and health, life is not insured to anyone, despite what we would like to believe. To receive the COVID-19 vaccine is to honor the over 400 people hospitalized at this very moment. To receive this vaccine is to honor you, your community, and to honor the gift of another day. Many of us celebrated when it was our turn to get vaccinated and pledged to do whatever it took to ensure we kept our community safe. We remembered what it was like last year, unable to leave the house, hug our friends or relatives, and we wanted to make sure that the sacrifices we made during that time were worth it.
Right.
And although I am now fully vaccinated, those sacrifices still mean the world. That is why I'm so delighted to be here with Governor Cooper and President Biden today, so I can have the ability to join with them in encouraging North Carolinians of all backgrounds to get vaccinated. Being here today alongside our leaders emphasizes how crucial this vaccine is in keeping communities healthy and creating a promising future. It is my honor to introduce one of the leaders ensuring that our communities stay safe, not just in North Carolina, but across the country. Please welcome President Joseph R. Biden.
Wow.
Hello, Raleigh. I'm going to...
Will you shut up, man?
Love you back. Look, that old, you're, by the way, you're in the midst of, you're in the presence of one hell of an individual I want you all to know about.
Come on,
Not
man.
me. He's always there when people need help, and he particularly focuses on people who are left behind. Reverend Barber. Thanks for all you do, Rev. Ivy, thank you for that introduction. You know,
definitely more energy in the room today.
You know, I thank everyone here at the Green Road Community Center for hosting us. Governor Cooper, my good friend, great governor, but the most important thing, he's a man of enormous integrity. And no, he really is. You're doing an incredible job. I'm lucky to have you as a partner, Gov. And as we move along here, look, you know, the main thing I want to do is start off with the way you should never start off. You have any chairs out there? Well, if you have a chair, sit. Don't stand for me.
I don't know why I love it when he tells people to sit.
I was getting to feel really guilty, man. I said that a while ago, as the press will tell you, about a year ago. I said, why did everybody sit down? And somebody in the front said, I don't have a damn seat, that's why. I don't want to get in trouble. Thank you. I thought you didn't have any seats, so I really feel guilty. Folks, look, it's great to be with Mayor Baldwin of Raleigh and Mayor Schul of Durham, and joined by a proud native son of North Carolina, the administrator of the EPA in Washington, D.C., Michael Reagan. Where are you, Michael? I'm always worried. I'm always worried when I come back to North Carolina and Michael's with me that the governor's going to take him back. But I need him. Look, folks, he's doing one heck of a job at EPA, and if you want to talk about health, think about the environment. Think about what's happened being done, what we're changing at EPA, and it makes a big deal. It's also out there across the state encouraging people to get vaccinated as well. I wanted to come to Raleigh to thank everyone in this room for everything you're doing to get your community vaccinated. It matters. It matters. You're saving lives. That's not hyperbole. Let me remind everybody, we lost 600,000 dead in America in about a year. That's more than every life lost in World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, Iraq, Iran, across the board, Afghanistan. More lives lost in a year than every major war in the 20th century and the 21st century. And guess what, folks? There have been lives lost all around the world. In America, I might say, this is not, I didn't plan on saying this, but I'm going to anyway. We have an obligation in the United States of America to live up to who we are. America is the only unique nation. We're the only nation formed based on an idea, not an ethnicity, not on ideology, not an idea. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, Seder. Well, here's the deal.
Here's the deal. There are over 100 countries in the world that have no capacity to help themselves right now. None. And
People desperate for vaccines all over the world, and here 20% of the country's like, nah.
Down in the first 100 days, over 60 million doses of vaccine for Americans. I went to Europe to meet what they call the G7, and then with NATO, and then with the EU. And I promised that the United States, the remainder of this year and the first half of next year, is going to provide 1 billion doses to the rest of the world. 1 billion doses. $500 million of those will be done between now and January and the first half of next year. Point being, I wanted the nation to reflect what you all reflect. Everyone in this room, there's everything. I want to thank you for all you're doing. But the rest of the world is in trouble as well. We have to look out for one another. We really do. And what you're doing here, go back to the United States, nonprofits directing folks to where to go, houses of worship opening on-site vaccination for congregants. My friend Reverend Barber is here, as I said, and countless faith leaders who are truly doing God's work. College students providing rides for seniors. It's what's happening in America. It's what America is all about. That's what the rest of the world is looking at. Are we what we advertise ourselves to be? Because of people like you here in Raleigh and communities across America that are going to win this fight. Look at the progress we made so far. Today, 66% of all American adults have gotten at least one shot. That includes 87% of all seniors, of all colors. 75% of adults ages 40 and up have gotten a shot, and 70% of those aged 30 and up. Nationwide, we're seeing the lowest number of daily cases and deaths since the first day of the pandemic. And we've built equity into the heart of the vaccination program. I put together a vaccination team headed by a really bright guy. We put together a group of 23 doctors. And what they did was we had one doc who does nothing but deal with equity, access for people. There's a reason why it's been harder to get African Americans initially to get vaccinated, because they're used to being experimented on. The Tuskegee Airmen and others. People have memories. People have long memories. It's awful hard as well to get Latinx vaccinated as well. Why?
No, not Latinx.
They're worried that they'll be vaccinated and deported.
Not a fan of the Latinx thing,
Day
guys.
one, something that Governor Cooper has been totally focused on is making sure we get as many people vaccinated, particularly people who don't have access to health care usually, who don't have doctors, family physicians, et cetera. 73% of the shots administered at community health centers through the federal program we have, and more than 58% of the shots administered in federally run vaccination sites have gone to people of color. It makes a gigantic difference. And across the nation, people of color have accounted for more than half of all the vaccinations in the last month. The more we close the racial gap in vaccination rates, the more lives we can save. And if I can... Come on, man. And if I can pause for 1 second, that's why I've called for spending billions of dollars at NIH focusing on new ways to deal with obesity, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and cancer. Focus just on those diseases. Money that private drug companies don't have the money to invest in or the inclination to. Because guess what? In most black communities across America, Hispanic communities, how many stores have fresh vegetables? How many stores have I go down the list? It matters. The health condition a person enters this fight over makes a big difference as to what in fact is going to be able to be done. Here in North Carolina, my administration has provided $105 million from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to help get people vaccinated. Working with the governor and the mayors and county officials across the state, there are 240 personnel in the Tar Heel state just to put the needle in somebody's arm. This has been a gigantic logistical challenge, not just in North Carolina, but all across America. More than 660 National Guard members have supported the COVID-19 response here in North Carolina. Over in Greensboro, we stood up the federal vaccination site that alone has administered 135,000 shots. The governor and I visited one of the mobile units you're deploying to meet the people where they live. As a result of these efforts, statewide, case deaths are down over 90% in the last 5 months. All of this is great news, but here's the deal. For all the progress we made as a country, hospitalizations and deaths are down drastically in places where people are getting vaccinated.
Right.
The data couldn't be clear. If you're vaccinated, you're safe. You are still at risk of getting seriously ill or dying if you, in fact, have not been vaccinated. That's just a fact. And this new dangerous variant continues to emerge. It's now the most common variant in America and here. And unvaccinated people are incredibly vulnerable. This is a serious concern with what experts call the Delta variant. It is not only, according to the CDC, between 10 and 20% of all cases in the last 2 weeks have been the Delta variant. Dr. Fauci has made it clear, he and my wife have been traveling the country to make this case, that it's more easily transmittable, this Delta variant, potentially deadlier, and especially dangerous for young people. He says it's the greatest threat to our fight to beat COVID-19. But the good news is we have a solution. The science is clear. The best way to protect yourself against the virus and its variants is to be fully vaccinated. It works. It's free. It's safe. It's easy. It's convenient. Over 150 million Americans.
Uh-oh. Looks like it's this particular feed, because our Bannon feed is still going beautifully.
It's the greatest threat to our fight to beat COVID-19. But the good news is we have a solution. The science is clear. The best way to protect yourself against the virus and its variants is to be fully vaccinated.
Is it going to freeze again?
It works. It's free. It's safe. It's easy. It's convenient. Over 150 million Americans.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Something may be wrong with the feed. If I refresh again and it goes right to the same spot again as opposed to live.
He says it's the greatest threat to our fight to beat COVID-19.
Man.
But
maybe if I go back and then hit live.
He says it's the greatest threat to our fight to beat COVID-19. But the good news is we have a solution.
We may have to abandon it. Let's see if Bannon's getting Rudy on, which was really the point of today.
Reports about UFOs. Why now? What's in it? What does it mean for you? All next in the War Room.
Okay, so they're going to UFO stuff next, I guess. Let's try going live one more time here.
It's easy. It's convenient. Over 150 million Americans. Lyft and Uber said between the time this last month
now we're good.
to July 4th, they'll provide a ride free to and from. They'll wait and take you back home. Thousands of pharmacies are offering no appointment walk-in vaccinations. More than 1,400 pharmacies are in North Carolina that do that.
Right.
They've already administered 2.2 million shots, these pharmacies. Many of them are open 24 hours on Fridays. So go tomorrow if you've not gotten it done. Or when you're going out knocking on doors, tell them tomorrow.
Is that true? 24 hours only on Friday?
24 hours. The majority of these drugstores are open. Get it done. Get it done, and they get it done at their convenience. And if you still have questions, that's okay. Talk to people who you know have gotten the shot. That's what you guys are out going to be doing, knocking on doors.
Yeah, good.
Talk to your doctor or health provider. If you don't have one, physicians know it's the right choice to get vaccinated to protect themselves, their patients, and their communities. And listen to North Carolina's own Dr. Kizzy Colbert, you know, from Hurdle Mills, just about an hour north of here. She's a scientist at NIH that I met several weeks ago, who helped develop the COVID-19 vaccine. A vaccine that was developed after decades of research under Republican and Democratic administrations. As I said, I met her earlier this year during a tour of NIH Vaccine Research Center, where this all happened. She's incredible. Folks, there's no reason to leave yourself vulnerable to the deadly virus for one single day more. And as they say in my church, I'm preaching to the choir, I know. But the television is recording this. Make the case. Let people know getting vaccinated is not only maybe going to save their lives, but save their mother, their father, their child, their son, their daughter, their coworker. So please get vaccinated. And let everyone do our part. Let's everyone do it. This weekend, we'll be hosting another nationwide canvassing event where volunteers like you are going to knock on doors and talk to friends and neighbors to help finish the job of getting America vaccinated. To join that effort, I say to the people watching this, because these people have already joined the effort, to join that effort, please visit wecandothis.hhs.gov. wecandothis.hhs.gov. Sign up. Get involved. We can do this. We really can do this.
Come on, man.
Let me close where I began. To all of you here today, we're about to head out and canvass your communities. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I genuinely mean it. But just listen again to Ivy. Graduated from Apex Friendship High. Just finished her first year in school. She's been spending her summer doing door-to-door, going door-to-door to help get people vaccinated to stay safe. And I'll bet what she had to say when asked is what a lot of you think as well. She said, quote, I hope you don't mind my repeating this, Ivy, but she said, quote, reaching out and giving back to the community is everything. I like to say I don't dream of having a dream job or a dream career, but I dream of truly helping people in the best way I can. That's my life goal. This can be among one of the most important things you do. I really mean it. And again, remember, I think you're probably the least ones that have to remember. Remember, 600,000 plus Americans have died. 600,000 plus Americans have died. This Delta variant, you know there's going to be others as well. You know it's going to happen. We've got to get our young people vaccinated. So talk to those moms when you knock on the door. Tell them about why it's so important to get their children. You may remember I got widely criticized when I suggested we keep dropping the age of people eligible for vaccinations.
Not by me.
It's been based on the science. I didn't do anything based on a whim. The science, the tests show that. And what's going to happen here, I predict, as soon as we go from temporary approval to permanent approval, which just takes time, it's not that I don't think it's there, it's going to increase the number of people willing to move as well.
About a third of people who are currently hesitant said they'd get vaccinated after the full approval rather than emergency approval.
All got the whole world in front of you. And, you know, it's because of people like Ivy and all of you why I have so much faith in the future. I'm not being, you know, if you notice, I've been fairly criticized for being optimistic. I've been fairly criticized because I think we can actually pull people together. When I ran for president, I ran for 3 reasons. I said one was restore the soul of America, just basic decency, looking out for one another.
By the way, for whoever is saying 36,000 people die in traffic every day, no, it's 36,000 per year, not per day. It doesn't, I mean, we can still compare whatever you want to compare, but let's at least do the right numbers, guys.
Folks, it's about time to build the economy from the middle up and out and from the middle class up. That's what we have to do. Folks, let's really let this be the summer of joy and freedom.
The summer of George.
Let's celebrate the 4th of July with the independence from the virus. We can get this done.
Congratulations, sir. You just won the election.
We really can do it. But you know what? I said the third reason I was running was to unify the country. Well, folks, it's never been as divided as it is today. Never been as divided as it is today since the Civil War. And folks, it's such a waste of talent, such a waste of time. And the rest of the world is looking at us. The rest of the world is wondering whether or not can we really lead the world again. The last 4 years have been devastating to our leadership around the world.
That's for sure.
It's true.
And God bless
But here's the way we lead.
the United States.
Like we always lead. Those who lead better than I and others. They lead by example. And the example is twofold. And I'll end with this. One, it's making sure we do everything in our power to walk that extra mile, to knock on that door, to pick up the phone, to actually...
Really, really strong $50 super chat from Umberto here. I would look at that really strongly.
Why it's so important. Let them know. Because people respond to individual relationships, even new ones. I got it. My brother got it. My sister got it. I took my daughter and she got it, etc. And secondly, let the world know that when it comes down to life-saving initiatives, no matter where they are, where they come from us, we should share them with the world, the whole world. We're even giving some of these vaccines to nations that are not our friends, because the people are not the ones who are not our friends. The leadership. So, folks, there's a lot we can do. As I said, I have faith in your generation. The reason I'm so optimistic is because you're the most incredible generation in American history. I'm not being solicitous. Number one, you're the least prejudiced generation in history.
True.
Number one.
True.
Number two, you volunteer the most any other generation, including my Volta generation of the 60s. You know, I mean it. We are proud of what we did, but you volunteer. Number three, you're the best educated generation in the history of America. And I believe our dealing with equity is only the beginning as it relates to vaccine. The first executive order I signed was insisting that every one of my cabinet members focus on racial equity. Because we have a chance. We have a chance to make significant change in this country. And it's going to come from what you guys do. I really mean it. Can't thank you enough. Sorry to take so much of your time, but God bless you all. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
What an event. There he goes. And off he goes. All right, so there we go. Joe Biden with a very, very strong statement there as far as vaccination is concerned. We are standing by still for Rudy Giuliani, who's had his law license suspended by the state of New York on the Steve Bannon show. Do people know if this is an hour show or a 2-hour show? Because if it's an hour show, it ends in a minute. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on that momentarily. Okay. And then there was one other thing I did want to look at while we wait. Oh, hold on. Let me say thank you to a few other people. Thanks to Silo Vent Do, as well as Churro de French, Wicked Beats, and One's Comp. Oh, as well as Jimmy Tenpins for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. I really appreciate that, putting us at 25. And remember that today is the last day. And maybe Saturday if I end up streaming the Trump rally. But we're getting very, very close to the absolute last day for using the coupon code ColdFeetCrowder at joinpakman.com.
Oh no, Sam Seder.
We're getting to the very, very end of that, celebrating the incredible events of this week with Steven Crowder and Sam Seder.
Sam who?
That's for you to find out. That's for you to find out when you use the coupon code ColdFeetCrowder. I want to say thank you to, oh, look, we got a raid from someone from Book Smarts. Book Smarts, welcome to 140 people from Book Smarts. Is that like a book review channel? That sounds interesting. I was actually going to do my list of books. In fact, while we're waiting, we could even do, I could even tell you the most recent stuff I picked up. Let's see. I'm just pulling up my book list. Just endless lists and lists and lists. If I have time before Bannon comes back. So I just grabbed, I'm going to read this on my vacation. Hell's Angels by Hunter Thompson. Highly recommended. I did buy Going Clear by Lawrence Wright because I just read Lawrence Wright's pandemic novel, The End of October, recently. I'm going to read Going Clear about Scientology. I'm reading Nick Bilton's Hatching Twitter about the origins or the oranges, depending on your preference, of Twitter. 1491 New Revelations. That's a great book that has been, it's been highly recommended to me. I've read the first 10 pages. It's about pre-1492 Americas. And then from the standpoint of, from the standpoint of what we would call, I guess, a fiction, I'm currently reading Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace, and I've also grabbed another one of Robert Ludlum's books. I've read the Bourne trilogy. They're just fun, you know. I'm going on vacation, and it's just Robert Ludlum stuff is fantastic, and we are going to get a very strong review of that very soon. Okay, so it looks as though Bannon's show is over. This is Jenna Ellis, who got Corvid from Rudy herself.
And petty never Trump mentality over issues that really matter, like election integrity. Several prominent Republicans and, of course, President Trump have endorsed Elise Stefanik as Cheney's replacement. But
all right, so I'm guessing, okay, so people are telling me that tonight on Newsmax, Rudy Giuliani is going to appear. I want to say thank you to Patricia Palin. Oh, my goodness. Patricia Palin has just signed up at joinpakman.com. New member number 26 today. Appreciate that, Patricia. Guys, by the way, I'm joking around when I say Rudy gave Jenna Ellis COVID through flatulence. It's conceivable that he did, but I'm not aware that that's actually a method of transmission. I think he gave it to her through respiratory transmission. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Everybody relax. All right. And then here's the last thing I want to go over. Okay. This is really, I don't know how many people will be interested in this. I came across this yesterday, and I have been in a rabbit hole of this stuff. As many of you know, other than the David Pakman show, I am known for when I was 17 years old and I worked in sales at the now defunct Circuit City. I was in the top 200 salespeople nationally, and I had to get a parental permission to go to the top salespeople celebration in Orlando, Florida. And so I'm just fascinated by sales, and I have a lot of friends who work in car sales. I came across this channel, Steve Richards, and this guy, I guess, teaches other car salespeople training, sales training. He teaches car sales techniques to other salespeople. And as I watch this, it's like this, I would never work with this guy. And really what I came away with from watching this, and I'm going to watch it with some of you guys now, is how can an actual dealership that still has to badger people and trick them with insurance, with oh, I can lower your payment, but then the reason you're doing it is giving them an 84-month loan and all this stuff. When with Tesla and other increasingly brands, you go online and you just pick, the pricing is completely transparent and you click order. Like how can a dealership with a horrible experience compete with that? Anyway, check it. Let's just dive into this. Okay. I love this stuff. Like who would buy from this guy?
Excellent. All right. We've worked hard to put together a fair proposal. However, we understand that you're the judge and jury when it comes to fair. We also know what happens if you don't think it's fair. You get up out of that seat, you walk back through our 2 front doors, and you jump in the car, you hope you never drive again, and you leave. That's why we made it fair. MSRP 25,030. Now, the splash guards, this will be the best investment you make over the next 4 or 5 years. This will keep your vehicle's paint intact.
Can you imagine? Can you? I mean, okay, at least splash guards is a thing where like rust proofing and rain coating and all this stuff. I mean, this brings back memories to when I used to shop for cars in dealerships, and it's just a nightmare.
On both sides. It will double, triple, quadruple the cost when it comes to you getting money back by selling it or trading it. The pinstripes make it distinctive. There's your total investment. Our discount is $750. Your trade, we love it. We'll buy it for $15,950. Please recognize this. When you trade the car to us, this is the amount of cash that stays in your pocket instead of going to the state of Georgia.
Right.
So you add this to this, and that's $1725. There's the difference. Doc fee, filing fee, your taxes.
Miscellaneous dealer fees, dealer overcharge fee, and dealer scam fee. Let's add it all up together.
After your payoff, there's what you're financing. Now, recognize this. Each time you decrease your term, you save yourself a pile of money. The difference between this and this can be over $3,000 in interest that you save. Each time you increase your term, your payment goes down. So, with your initial investment of $1,000, your payment's $629 to $639. That payment may look high, but here's what it does for you. Saves you $3,000.
And it makes us a bunch of money.
Allows you to pay it off quicker. You build equity faster.
By the way, you build equity. It's like, okay, yeah, when you pay less interest, you are paying more principal, but the idea of a vehicle as an equity builder, it's a depreciating asset, right? So at its base, this concept of building equity in your own car, this is not the right way to think of vehicles. It's that, and a lot of people who are more personal finance savvy would understand that.
You have the freedom to trade or sell it sooner. At 72, this payment is comfortable and flexible. It's comfortable because it's $200 less. It's flexible because you can always pay it off early without penalty and enjoy the same benefits you got up here. This payment right here is the best of both worlds. The payment is significantly less than it would be at 48. You save more money.
It's like a sort of this bowl of porridge is too hot. This bowl of porridge is too cold. This one's just right. It's like, do we even want porridge? Is porridge nutritious? It's just like a total misdirect.
And you would at 72. Circle and initial the payment that works best for you. Okay, that right there. We'll get your new Civic ready for delivery.
No, I want 18,000 for much.
Okay. Carol.
It is my honor to meet you, Mr. President.
Whoa, where's that coming
from?
And
I enjoyed very much our conversation.
That's not even live. Sorry, guys.
Knowledge for your trade is evidence that you are a perfectly normal human being. Everybody that trades a car in wants more for the trade. I want more for a trade, so that's not a problem. We understand completely. Other than the trade value, everything else works fine. Nothing else stops you from taking the Civic home today, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well,
so I'm guessing that they have a name for that technique called like isolation, maybe, where before you'll even talk about the trade, you want to preempt any further discussions. And then he'll just talk to you about the trade. You won't be convinced, but he'll claim you are. And he'll be like, you said there was nothing other than the trade, so we're ready to move forward now.
You're going to go, I don't believe it. But when I show you the math, you're going to discover that we're not that far apart, okay?
Yeah.
You won 18, and quite frankly, that's a great number. We hope that the vehicle can be worth 18 or even a little bit more. Make no mistakes or whatever.
But we've got to put a ton of money into this car to get it to be worth 18. We're going to put $5,000-$6,000 into it.
Research you've done is good. We'll buy it for $16,950. Do me a favor, Carol. Take 18,000.
All right. Anyway, so we don't have to watch the whole thing, but I was down a rabbit hole on this yesterday on YouTube. Like, who would possibly buy a car from this guy? It's just wild that anybody would do that. My approach when I was in sales was to do basically the opposite of all of this guy's instincts, and it worked really well for me. It worked really, really well for me. Am I streaming on Saturday? I have absolutely every intention of streaming the Trump rally on Saturday night. Now, we are going to be starting our vacation, which will carry us through the 4th of July of 2023. That's a joke, by the way. No, we're starting our 4th of July vacation after tomorrow's show. And I don't know the quality of my internet on Saturday. I am going to be on the road, but I really want to try to stream that rally. My vacation's not really going to have started yet. So every intention is to stream the rally. I think the rally's at 8 Eastern. If my internet's good enough, I'll probably start at 7:15 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. If the internet's no good, then you know what, that'll just be it. We won't be able to do it. But that is the planned next stream. And remember, if you have more audio drops that I should have available, get those in because we absolutely love those.
Looking at that very strongly.
Looking super strongly at that. Appreciate everybody joining me today, and I'll see you very soon.